Good afternoon. Welcome to the Glass Lady Studio. My name is Becky Mitchell. Today I want to talk about mosaics with you. Most of you in the area know me through the Mosaic Mania project, where I go into the area schools and the classes make large mosaics such as this one. And some of your students or children have maybe brought home a small mosaic such as this. This one happened to be made by my little girl a few weeks ago. I wanted to bring mosaics down to a little bit more personal level. I've had some commission work happening in the area and I've had lots of questions about that. So today I wanted to talk to you about, explain some of the processes with those mosaics. You're going to be seeing some pictures on the screen, and the first one that I'd like to talk to you about is a project I actually did up at the Fargo Public Library. That was a community project where students and their parents or grandparents were invited to come in and help create a mural that is placed in the Children's Library down on 32nd Avenue. And we worked in about 5 work sessions where the kids came in for about a half an hour apiece, and each were able to create a few different areas, or in the cases of a few students, they were there every work session. The second project that you're going to be seeing is a Velkomen sign that was done by the Exo Lutheran Church Women's Group. And that group, similar to a lot of the other community projects I do, we got together in a few work sessions with the women of the church, and they created a sign that hangs outdoors of the church. Also out at the Exo Lutheran Church site is a new church signs that I created for them. And it is just their advertisement along Highway 10. And that was just a large project in the regard because it was 6 feet tall and 11 feet wide, and there were 2 of them, of course, because you would have to be able to see them going both directions on the highway. A little bit later, I'm going to show you an Audubon mural, and that's still in process. That's going to be located in the Audubon School District here in a few weeks, so stop in there and take a look at that one. We'll get back to that a little bit more later. For the home, mosaics can be a lot of different locations you can put a mosaic in. I've done shower stalls, I've done backsplashes, or I've done just the picture that hangs in your home. There's a shot of a rooster on your screen right now. That's a little bit different than maybe some of the mosaics that you're used to seeing, because all of the pieces are cut and ground and fitted together. But instead of taking it to the next step of foiling and soldering, they were actually glued and grouted and the wood was framed. So therefore you could hang it on a wall or above a fireplace. The Santa mosaic that you are seeing, again, all of those pieces to that project were cut and ground and fit together except for the background. Artists have a way of, sometimes when they're short on time, trying to go a different avenue. And with that one, I was on a deadline and I was short on time and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get that background done. So I took regular old sheetrock mud and swirled it around in the background and then painted it the blue color that you're seeing. The lights, the glass gems in the background of that also light up. We ran LED lights through the back of it and we're able to light that one up. So mosaics really are very, very broad. And right now they are kind of the hot thing. You see them a lot more actually in homes and in businesses than the stained glass method. I think also because people are able to come and create and do it themselves as well. You can do it on anything from bowling balls to flower pots to making stepping stones, just a wide array of materials that you can mosaic on. If you're interested in taking a class here at the studio right now, a few classes that we have offered here is the mosaic pumpkin that you're seeing. And this one is actually on a paper mache form that you can see the inside of. And then of course you can take different colors of orange and mosaic around it. And note how you have to get the pieces real small to fit down in those grooves and make that shape continue. And mosaicing things that are 3-dimensional, like a pumpkin or a bowling ball, are a little bit challenging because you have to nip that glass small enough so that it's not sticking up and sharp. So although it's easy in concept, it's not always so easy once you start, but anybody can mosaic. You just have to have a little bit of patience. It's a lot like fitting together a puzzle. This one then we're adorning with some copper and beads and what have you. Another class that has been offered through the studio that's easy for a beginner is a keepsake box. And this is just a regular wooden box with a recessed panel on top that you could do any design you wanted within it. And then of course you grout. You always finish your mosaics by grouting them. Sometimes people will ask, well, I like the look of that, but I don't want to grout it. The grout is kind of like that second cement. It adds some strength to your piece. So it's really important not to skip that step. From here, we're going to move over to a mural project that is in progress, and we'll talk a little bit more. A lot of questions that have been raised to me lately are surrounding some of the community projects that I've been doing. So as promised, I told you we'd talk a little bit more about one that is happening right now, which is the Audubon History Mural. Community projects generally start, of course, with the vision from somebody. In the case of the Fargo Public Library, it was the librarian that wanted something a little bit more whimsical in their children's library area. In the case of the Audubon History Mural, it was really with the Lake Park Audubon School Districts doing some renovations and some new building, they really wanted to figure out a way to try to preserve some of the memories and some of the past, all while getting their kids and their community involved. And here in the state of Minnesota, we've been lucky, fortunate enough to have the legacy funds that were passed in 2008 that have allowed just a ton of public art projects and a lot of Minnesotans to experience hands-on art or performing art that they would not have otherwise been able to. So the Audubon History Mural is going to be depicting the three different generations of schools, if you will. There's been a few in between, but these are the three main ones. This is the Old Faithful building. That was the first school. And then this is the school that we were, just before summer here, we were used to seeing when we drove into Audubon. And then this is what the new part will be. This part has been torn down, and this part has been added on. And so they wanted to show the three different stages of schools, and a lot of other projects happened throughout that school year that kind of brought history to the forefront with our students. There was a lot of intergenerational projects where senior citizens were able to share what school was like when they were a kid and their experiences with our school-age kids. So right at the end of the school year, right before this portion of this building was torn down, I went into the school along with some volunteers and we began working on this project. This is only a portion of this mural. There is actually 8 different panels that make it up. And you can see over here we have the Old Faithful part with the school kids playing at the bottom. And we kind of transition in up to the part of the school that was just torn down now in 2011. And up in that corner there is a farmer pushing an old plow. So a little bit of the history bringing into it, if you will. And then as you move down to this central portion where I am right now, it's very difficult to see, but this will be the new portion that will be depicted. And then across over to the side is a little bit of our more natural resources, some lakes area, a little marshy area with a loon. And so how these happen is they all get projected out, and I draw the design out on wood. And as you can see, it's really sketched. It's difficult somewhat. You have to really get into the project, the kids as well, to kind of focus on the little area that you're working on, because it's hard to get it all traced and exactly accurate. So then the kids come in different groups and work on it for about 20 minutes apiece. And the process for mosaics is really quite simple. You have glue that you put down, and you are essentially just gluing your glass just like a puzzle along those lines. About the only tool involved is occasionally if you need to nip a piece, you have a nipper that you cut the glass and glue. So this project, we've had kids all the way from preschool age to senior citizens working on it. And if you're interested in doing a mosaic, you can call the Glass Lady Studio at 218-234-8844 for more information.